Doing what is best for business seems easy enough, right? The boss tells a worker what to do, the worker does it, and hopefully the work helps the company's bottom line. However, in the world of professional wrestling, doing what's best for business can be a bit of a tricky thing. There is a delicate balance between the company's needs and a pro wrestler's personal brand, and sometimes these needs lean too far one way or the other. Over the years, WWE has seen its fair share of superstars who didn't exactly do what was best for business. This can then lead to drama in the ring, backstage, and often upsets the fans. In the end though, these moments usually result in us fans missing out on dream matches, getting subpar wrestling performances, and watching our favorite superstars sit on the sidelines, which all completely sucks. But anywho, I'm Gareth from What Culture Wrestling, and here are 10 WWE wrestlers who didn't do what was best for business. Number 10, Hulk Hogan won't pass the torch to Bret Hart. Hulk Hogan shockingly regained the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 9 after an impromptu match with Yokozuna. Because, I don't know, Hulk Hogan. There were then plans for Hulk Hogan vs Bret Hart at SummerSlam 1993. The idea was for Hogan to pass the torch to Hart, signifying the end of one era and the beginning of a new one. Unfortunately though, Hogan just didn't want to do business. According to Hart, he was told by Vince McMahon that Hogan refused to drop the belt to him because they weren't in the same league, apparently. This left Hart out of the title picture and Hogan disgruntled. Hogan eventually agreed to drop the belt back to Yokozuna at King of the Ring 1993, while Hart won the King of the Ring tournament. Then at SummerSlam, Hogan would not appear, and Hart wrestled both Doink the Clown and Jerry the King Lawler. What could have been, eh? Number 9, Hulk Hogan refuses Best of 3 series with Shawn Michaels. He's back again! In 2005, two of WWE's greatest ever superstars decided to work a program together. Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels may have started out as a tag team, but the Heartbreak Kid soon turned on the Hulkster. They set up their dream match at SummerSlam. However, according to Michaels, the SummerSlam bout was supposed to be the first of a 3-match series. Michaels claims Hogan nixed the series idea just before their SummerSlam encounter, and this clearly infuriated him. Hogan got the win after a strange performance by Michaels, who absurdly oversold Hogan's offense. And so the match is remembered more for being an odd spectacle than a classic between two legends. Hogan has never denied the 3-match series idea suggested by Michaels. He said he was more than willing to do it, in fact. However, Hogan refused to work the series after Michaels cut a derogatory promo on him the next night on Raw. Hogan said the promo was Michaels' way of saying he didn't want to do business. Sure it was, Hulkster, sure. Number 8, Bret Hart won't drop the belt to Shawn Michaels. In 1997, WWE champion Bret the Hitman Hart agreed to sign with Vince McMahon's biggest rival, WCW. As a result, the boss asked Hart to drop the belt to Shawn Michaels at Survivor Series in Montreal. However, not wanting to lose in his home country, he countered with the idea of surrendering the title on Raw, and McMahon initially agreed to Hart's suggestion. Yet Hart's failure to do business combined with McMahon's own personal paranoia that the WWE Championship might find its way onto WCW television eventually led to the infamous Montreal Screwjob going down. McMahon put a plan together to alter the finish at Survivor Series unbeknown to the Hitman. Hart thought the match would end in a disqualification caused by outside interference. However, during a spot in which Michaels reversed the sharpshooter, referee Earl Hebner called for the bell even though Hart did not submit. Chaos ensued, with Hart spitting on McMahon and destroying equipment. He also infamously punched out McMahon during a backstage confrontation. Note to self, never piss off a hitman. Number 7, The Undertaker isn't interested in a dream match. By 2013, most fans thought any chance of a dream match between The Undertaker and Sting was all but gone. However, in February 2014, the stars finally started aligning with a simple WWE.com interview of Sting by veteran pro wrestling journalist Bill Apter. By the end of the year, he made his unlikely WWE debut during the Survivor Series main event, and talk of The Undertaker vs Sting at WrestleMania 31 obviously began heating up. The match curiously never happened though. Fans were understandably upset, and many pointed the finger at Sting's WrestleMania 31 opponent Triple H as the sole culprit. However, comments made by Sting put at least some of the blame on The Undertaker. During an interview with Al Arabia, Sting said he spoke to The Undertaker about wanting to wrestle him, but felt the feeling wasn't exactly mutual. Yet it's ironic that Taker eventually accepted a match with another WCW legend in Goldberg that turned out to be a complete and utter disaster. Perhaps he actually saved us from something similar with Sting. Number 6. Stone Cold denies fans dream match. Hulk Hogan and Steve Austin are arguably WWE's two greatest superstars. Hogan was the top guy for most of the 1980s, and Austin led the Attitude Era of the late 1990s. So when the Hulkster returned to WWE in February 2002 after a run with rival WCW, fans automatically assumed the two would square off at WrestleMania 18. The dream match never materialized though, and it left fans wondering, well, why? Austin has gone on the record admitting that it was his fault the match never happened. His stubbornness got in the way, damn it. Vince McMahon and Hogan both lobbied for the epic showdown, but in the end it would be Hogan versus The Rock and Austin versus Scott Hall. Hogan and The Rock put on one of the all-time great WrestleMania performances, but this only made many wonder what Hogan and Austin could have accomplished that very same day. Maybe it was karma that Austin's match with Hall was a mere WrestleMania footnote, eh? Number 5. Goldberg forces Universal Championship win. WWE's Saudi Arabian Crown Jewel and Super Showdown events have already produced some strange moments in the ring. February 2020's Super Showdown had a bit of both, and there was a huge fan backlash to the main event result. The Fiend defended the Universal Championship against WWE and WCW legend Bill Goldberg. As we all know, Goldberg won the title in a quick squash over the hottest act in WWE. Months of building Bray Wyatt's new persona were demolished in under 3 damn minutes. It sent fans into a social media frenzy, which included actor Macaulay Culkin announcing via Twitter that he had cancelled his WrestleMania 36 tickets, as everybody ended up doing in the end. Adding to the drama was a report from WrestleZone's Bill Pritchard that Goldberg lobbied backstage hours before showtime to change the result. He felt losing to a monster heel like The Fiend would have damaged his character in the eyes of kids who look up to him. Yeah, a 53-year-old man falling to one of the biggest and most intimidating current stars in the company would have been too much for them to handle, Bill. You definitely made the right call there, buddy. Number 4. Brock Lesnar doesn't accommodate Dean Ambrose. Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose had the potential to steal the show at WrestleMania 32. The young lion taking on the established beast was only part of the intriguing story. The no-holds-barred street fight stipulation also had fans anticipating a wild match given Ambrose's hardcore past. Unfortunately though, the showdown was ultimately a letdown, and criticized heavily by the fans. Ambrose left WWE in April 2019, assuming his old ring name Jon Moxley, and free agent Mox was quick to make the rounds of the podcast circuit. He did not hold back when discussing the Lesnar match with wrestling personalities such as Chris Jericho and Wade Keller. Moxley pointed out that Lesnar just didn't seem interested in trying to steal the show. Lesnar balked at many of his hardcore/high spot suggestions and wanted a simple game plan. Summing up Lesnar's attitude about the match, Moxley was quoted as saying he did not give a, well, let's say, crap. Had he actually been in the mood, surely this could have gone down as a hardcore all-timer at the show of shows. Number 3. Roman Reigns pulls out of WrestleMania. Roman Reigns was again given a golden opportunity to win over an often split WWE fanbase. The big dog received a Universal title match at WrestleMania 36 against Bill Goldberg. You know, the one who just finished up squashing a Fiend. However, the dream match would never actually happen, and he ultimately missed out on a signature win against a WWE and WCW legend. Just days before WrestleMania, Reigns removed himself from the match in order to protect his family during the current global health crisis, and was replaced by Braun Strowman. Then at Mania, Strowman eventually went on to defeat Goldberg for the title. But Reigns' decision was controversial for a number of reasons. Most WWE superstars work through the crisis, and have continued to do so without taking a sabbatical. Also, Reigns returned recently and immediately took his place back at the top of the card by defeating Strowman and The Fiend for the Universal title. But he is our tribal chief, so I'm just gonna shut up. Controversy aside though, fans will hopefully soon get the spear versus spear match they missed out at WrestleMania. Number 2. Stone Cold takes his ball home. Stone Cold Steve Austin was WWE's biggest star during the late 90s Attitude Era. However, in 2002, it was time for WWE to start building new superstars to replace an aging Austin and The Rock. He was pursuing a film career in Hollywood. Wonder how that went. So WWE asked him to put over a rising young star, but the Texas Rattlesnake was not willing to do business. According to Pro Wrestling Torch, negotiations between Austin and creative became heated just a few hours before a June 2002 episode of WWE Raw was set to air. The disagreement was over a proposed match with Brock Lesnar. At the time, Lesnar was billed as the next big thing, and WWE was looking to push the future star as a main event player. Austin believed the match and creative direction would damage his brand due to the showdown not being built up properly beforehand. This meant that rather than passing the torch to the young beast incarnate, he took his ball and went home. Number 1. The Rock refuses to work with Shawn Michaels. For years, fans waited for a big WrestleMania match between two of the Attitude Era's biggest stars. As time went on though, fans began wondering why it just wasn't happening. The likes of Bret Hart and wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer have both weighed in on why The Rock and Shawn Michaels just couldn't do business for a big money WrestleMania match. Hart has spoke about Michaels trying to bury The Rock early in his career. When he first debuted in WWE, Michaels was already a veteran talent and main event star. According to The Hitman, he was a bully and a thorn in the side of the future Great One. Yet The Rock was able to weather the storm and rise to the top of the card. But Meltzer has pointed out a different reason. He claims a young HBK once insulted The Rock's mother, who was a wrestling promoter in Hawaii during the 1980s. Whatever the reason, the Brahma Bull apparently held a grudge against the Heartbreak Kid. And that's why we didn't get this legendary collision on the grandest stage of them all. And that's our list. Know of any other WWE wrestlers who didn't do what was best for business? Let us know all about them in the comment section below, and do not forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button. Also, be sure to head on over to whatculture.com and click on some more awesome articles just like the one this video is based on. I've been Gareth from What Culture Wrestling. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm sure I'll see you very, very soon.